Hello, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into an intense and shocking development on the Eastern Front, a moment that has sent ripples across the entire conflict. Reports have emerged that over 300 Russian military trucks were seen crossing a major bridge in occupied territory, a key supply route linking Russian forces to the front lines. But before those convoys could reach their destination, Ukraine launched a massive and precise counterstrike that turned the bridge into a blazing inferno of destruction. This wasn't just another attack, this was a strategic message, a show of power, and perhaps one of the most daring moves we've seen in recent months. As satellite footage and drone videos began circulating online, viewers could clearly see the scale of this operation. Long lines of Russian military trucks loaded with fuel, ammunition, and supplies stretched for kilometers. The convoy represented a lifeline for the Russian units fighting deeper inside Ukrainian territory. The bridge they were crossing was not just a random target, it was one of the few remaining routes that connected Russia's logistics base to its advancing forces. Ukrainian commanders knew that hitting this specific bridge would paralyze Russian supply efforts, but timing would be everything. According to initial intelligence leaks, Ukraine's military had been tracking the movement of these trucks for hours. Using advanced reconnaissance drones and satellite coordination, they waited for the perfect moment when the bridge was full of vehicles. When the first missile hit, the entire convoy was trapped. Within seconds, the sky lit up with a massive explosion. Several secondary blasts followed as fuel trucks ignited, turning the bridge into a fiery trap. Witnesses described the scene as apocalyptic, with black smoke rising high into the sky and flames visible from miles away. The Ukrainian strike was reportedly carried out using precision-guided HIMARS rockets supplied by Western allies. These weapons have proven to be game-changers, capable of hitting targets with pinpoint accuracy even from long distances. Analysts suggest that Ukraine may have used American satellite data and advanced radar systems to track the convoy in real time. The result was devastating. Within minutes, dozens of vehicles were destroyed, and the bridge itself sustained catastrophic damage, making it unusable for the foreseeable future. This strike is being viewed by many as a direct message to Moscow that Ukraine's reach is growing, and that no target within occupied zones is truly safe anymore. For the Russian military, this loss is more than material, it's psychological. Losing 300 trucks means a massive setback in logistics. Each of those trucks carried crucial equipment, food, and ammunition. Without those supplies, frontline troops will face delays and shortages that could directly impact their combat effectiveness. The destruction of the bridge also means Russia will need to find new, longer routes to resupply its forces, stretching their already thin logistics chain. Russian state media has remained mostly silent about the incident, but independent sources and pro-Russian bloggers have expressed frustration, blaming poor intelligence and overconfidence for the disaster. Some have even questioned why such a large convoy was allowed to move across a single, vulnerable bridge in broad daylight. The decision reflects what many military experts have been saying, that Russian command continues to underestimate Ukraine's surveillance capabilities and the precision of Western-supplied weapons. Meanwhile, Ukraine's officials celebrated the strike as a major victory. Social media posts from Ukrainian military channels hailed the operation as another step toward reclaiming occupied territories. The bridge, they say, symbolized Russian control, and its destruction marks a turning point. Ukrainian citizens, watching from afar, flooded the internet with messages of pride and support, calling it justice for months of relentless attacks on Ukrainian cities and civilians. But beyond the symbolism, this strike could have deeper strategic implications. By targeting key infrastructure, Ukraine is effectively choking the Russian war machine. Every truck destroyed, every bridge taken out, adds pressure on the already strained Russian supply lines. In modern warfare, logistics is often more decisive than firepower, and Ukraine appears to understand this perfectly. Rather than engaging in costly direct confrontations, they are dismantling Russia's ability to sustain its troops piece by piece, bridge by bridge. The reaction from the Kremlin, however, is expected to be fierce. Within hours of the attack, reports emerged that Russian bombers launched retaliatory strikes across several Ukrainian regions, hitting power grids and railway hubs. Moscow claims these are acts of revenge meant to disrupt Ukrainian military mobility, yet such retaliation often ends up targeting civilian infrastructure, further fueling anger and resistance among Ukrainians. Western leaders have condemned these counterstrikes, urging restraint while reaffirming their support for Kyiv. On the geopolitical front, this event has once again highlighted the delicate balance of the war. NATO intelligence agencies have praised Ukraine's operational planning and noted the increasing sophistication of their military tactics. This kind of operation demonstrates that Ukrainian forces are not merely reacting, but are taking the initiative, forcing Russia to adapt and respond. Some experts believe this could mark the beginning of a new phase in the conflict, where Ukraine transitions from defensive to more aggressive, deep strike operations aimed at disrupting the Russian war infrastructure. The destruction of the bridge also raises questions about the safety of other Russian supply routes. If Ukraine can hit this one, what's stopping them from targeting more bridges, depots, or command posts further inside occupied zones? This sense of vulnerability is something the Russian army hasn't experienced at this scale since the early stages of the war, and for Putin, such losses carry political consequences at home. Russian families are once again facing the grim reality of losing loved ones, while opposition voices are growing louder against a war that shows no signs of ending. In Ukraine, morale continues to rise. Every successful strike strengthens national unity and reinforces the belief that victory is possible. The government in Kyiv has already announced plans to expand drone production and long-range strike capabilities, ensuring they can continue to hit strategic targets even deeper into enemy-held territory. Western allies, encouraged by Ukraine's success, are reportedly considering new aid packages that include additional precision weapons and defensive systems. For ordinary people on both sides, however, the human cost remains heavy. Footage from the aftermath shows both devastation and defiance, scorched vehicles, shattered metal, and the eerie silence that follows such massive destruction. Yet amid that destruction, Ukraine's message is clear: they are not backing down. Each strike, each operation, is part of a broader effort to reclaim sovereignty and push back against invasion. As the world watches, one thing is certain: this war is evolving. Ukraine's ability to execute such a complex and timed strike shows how much their military has advanced in coordination, technology, and intelligence sharing. It also reveals how fragile Russia's hold over occupied territories truly is. Bridges, convoys, and supply routes, these are now the new battlegrounds. The destruction of that bridge will likely be remembered as more than just a tactical victory. It symbolizes the shifting tide of the conflict, one where precision, patience, and strategic thinking can outmatch even the largest armies. And as long as Ukraine continues to hit where it hurts the most, Moscow's grip on the front lines will continue to loosen. The coming weeks will reveal how Russia responds, whether with intensified attacks or strategic withdrawal. But one thing is clear: Ukraine has shown the world that even against overwhelming odds, determination and intelligence can turn the tide of war. The burning bridge stands not only as a monument of destruction, but as a symbol of defiance, resilience, and the will to fight for freedom.